Dear students, I hope you all are in good health. In this video tutorial, I am going to discuss about the Archimedean property of real numbers. Now the Archimedean property has various logically equivalent statements and I am going to discuss one of the statements. I'll also be discussing three of its corollaries. So let's start the presentation on the Archimedean property. Before discussing about the Archimedean property, it is very important that we first discuss about the completeness property of the set of real numbers. Now the property says that every non-empty set of real numbers that has an upper bound also has a supremum in R. So it says that every subset of real numbers that is bounded above has to have a supremum. There is an analogous property for infima which says that every non-empty set of real numbers that is bounded below has an infimum in R. Now let's discuss about the Archimedean property. The statement says that if x is any real number, then there exists a natural number, say we call it nx, such that x is less than nx. So we basically here indicate that there is an absence of upper bounds for the set of natural numbers. Now in order to prove this, we'll assume to the contrary. So what did we have to prove? We have to prove that for any real number x, we have to find a natural number nx such that x is less than this nx. So the contrary of this, if we assume, then we are assuming that n is less than or equal to x for all natural numbers n. So if we assume this, it would definitely mean that the number x is an upper bound for the set of natural numbers. Now from the completeness property, since this set of natural numbers is bounded above by x, this set has to have a supremum. So let us see this situation on the number line. We have a number here x. All the natural numbers are less than equal to this x, and there is some u which is the supremum of this set of natural numbers. So by supremum we mean the least upper bound, and hence this u has to be less than equal to this x, which is an upper bound for the set of natural numbers. So say our u is situated somewhere here. Now that would definitely also imply that u minus 1 is a number which is situated here. Now since u is the least upper bound for the set, u minus 1 cannot be an upper bound for the set. So that would imply there is some natural number m which is bigger than or equal to u minus 1. So we have some m which is greater than equal to u minus 1. This would imply that there is this m plus 1 which is bigger than or equal to u. Now what is this m plus 1? M plus 1 is again another natural number, and this statement says that we have a natural number which is bigger than our supremum. So is that possible? No, that's not possible, because supremum is the least upper bound for the set. So this arrives or leads us to a contradiction, and hence our assumption or the statement is valid that for any x we can always find a natural number nx such that x is less than nx. Now let's take up the first corollary to the Archimedean property. The corollary says that if S is the set which contains the reciprocals of all the natural numbers, then infimum of S is 0. Now let us see the proof of this. It is very obvious that the set S is non-empty because it contains all the reciprocals of the natural numbers, and since the natural numbers start with 1, so obviously it is consisting of all positive numbers, and hence it is bounded below by 0. Therefore, by the completeness property, it has to have an infimum. So let us assume that W is the infimum of the set S. Now by definition, infimum is the greatest lower bound. So since the set has 0 as a lower bound, infimum has to be greater than or equal to this number 0. Further, if we take any epsilon greater than 0, by the Archimedean property, for the real number 1 by epsilon, there has to be a natural number, say we call it n epsilon, such that 1 by epsilon, this real number which we had taken, is less than this n epsilon, or this would also imply that 1 by n epsilon is less than epsilon. Now let us again see this on the number line. So we have the number 0 which is a lower bound for this set S, and we have
a number w which is the greatest lower bound or the infimum. So obviously w has to be bigger than or equal to 0. Now further we have a number which is 1 by n epsilon. Now since this number belongs to this set S and w is the infimum for this set S, so w has to be less than or equal to the number 1 by n epsilon. Further, we also have the relation that 1 by n epsilon is less than epsilon. So we can see this inequality finally now. W is bigger than or equal to 0. It is less than or equal to 1 by n epsilon, and this is further less than epsilon. Now since this epsilon which we had taken was an arbitrary positive number, so that would imply that W has to be 0. So this proves that W, which was the infimum of the set S, is finally 0. Now let's take up the second corollary. The second corollary says that if we have any positive real number, then there exists a natural number, say we call it nt, such that 0 is less than 1 by nt is less than t. Now from the previous corollary we have seen that for the set S, which consists of all the reciprocals of the natural numbers, the infimum is 0, and this number t which we have here is bigger than 0. So definitely t is not a lower bound for the set S, because by definition infimum is the greatest lower bound. So t being greater than that cannot be a lower bound for the set S. Hence we can always find a natural number nt such that 0 is less than 1 over nt, and that is further less than t. We can always find a element of this set S which is less than t. That's possible because t is not a lower bound for this set S. So that proves our corollary, which is giving us the same statement that there has to be a natural number nt such that 0 is less than 1 by nt less than t. Now we come to our final corollary to the Archimedean property. This corollary says that if y is any real number which is positive, then there exists a natural number, say we call it ny, such that ny minus 1 is less than or equal to y, and it is further less than ny. Now before we prove this, we would be needing the statement of well ordering property of the set of natural numbers, which says that every non-empty subset of natural numbers has a least element. So if we have any subset of natural numbers which is non-empty, it has to have a smallest or a least element. Now from the Archimedean property, we know that if we have any given number y, there has to be a ny such that ny is bigger than y. That is the statement of the Archimedean property. So if we consider this set EY which contains all the natural numbers which are bigger than y, then definitely this set will be a non-empty set. And this set being a subset of natural numbers, by the well ordering property, this set will have a least element. So let us say the least element is ny. Now since ny is the least element, obviously it means that ny minus 1 cannot belong to the set EY, and if it doesn't belong to the set EY, it is not going to satisfy this condition. So that means ny minus 1 has to be less than or equal to y, because it will not satisfy this particular condition. So it has to be less than or equal to y, and since our ny belongs to EY being the smallest element, so it belongs, and therefore we have that this condition is satisfied. So y is less than ny. So finally we can see that ny minus 1 is less than or equal to y, and it is further less than ny.
So students, I hope you were able to understand the Archimedean property, its proof and its corollaries. In the next video tutorial, I am going to discuss about supremum and infimum of sets, and we'll also see how to apply the Archimedean property in order to find the supremum and infimum of sets. So till then, stay safe and keep studying.